7/30/2008, Corporal Eric Edwards, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Homicide Unit, in the room with
Detective Mike Erickson of the Homicide Unit.
and
Brian Berner.
Mr. Berner, you've come here voluntarily today to assist us in follow-up and helping us create our timeline on Caylee's disappearance, and I greatly appreciate that. You brought a handwritten note today. Do you mind if I look at that?
Go ahead.
You've had some time. You were approached by Detective Appy Wells. When was that? Back on the 16th, I believe.
Would be the Thursday after the incident was reported.
So the
Tuesday, I believe Tuesday night was the first night detectives were out in mid-July. 16.
Yep, Wednesday night.
The 15th they were there, and then I talked to Detective Appy on the 17th.
So Appy Wells approaches you, or did you approach Appy?
Well,
Go down.
I first notified the sheriff's office on the 17th in the morning, indicated that I had information, and they said I had to do a face-to-face. At that point, I was out of town, so that evening when I got back, Detective Appy had my phone number, and he met me at my place of employment around 3:30 in the afternoon, and I gave a statement then.
Okay, was that a recorded statement?
Recorded statement.
Okay, super. So this will be statement number 2 from you. Now, what's going to be questioned, and I want to make sure that we explain any questions, is the reason that I've reapproached you, though you provided a sworn statement to Detective Wells already, is because my experience, just life experience, not only law enforcement, is as time passes and you have time to reflect on things, you remember things that at that particular time you may not have known. That being said, Detective Wells wasn't actually sure to be able to tell me when it was that you reported that a shovel was borrowed by Casey.
Correct.
I need to get a few questions just knocked out of the way. How long have you known Casey?
Almost 3 years.
And you've probably seen her face to face?
Yes, spoken with her.
Numerous times?
Yeah.
Okay. And what I'm ruling out there is a need to do a photo lineup.
Nah, no need.
Okay. You know her. The baby. You've known the baby since it was born.
Since birth.
As far as seeing it, because she's lived there next door to you for that period of time?
Correct.
Until all this missing person stuff came.
Correct.
Okay. So she hasn't lived somewhere else in an apartment and you've observed her come back and visit family?
No.
She actually lives there?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you say you took a vacation to Chicago in June. You took your whole family?
Yes.
Okay, you indicated on this calendar here you left on the 10th of June. You drove all the way there?
Yes.
And spent the time in Chicago, came back home, and you returned home on the 16th of June?
Correct.
Is that correct? You say that you had the week of the 15th through the 21st off because you were still on vacation, so you were at your home.
Correct.
Which is next door to Casey's
Anthony's,
address.
yes.
The Anthony's. Okay. Now, you say that you got home on the 16th about what time?
Around 6 p.m.?
6 p.m. So the day was done.
Yes.
No observations that you can recall because you were spent from driving so long, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about, you had just said that kind of the 17th was kind of a couch day.
Yeah.
And you made some observations on that day that maybe you want to be known now, as far as you say Casey's car visited the address. Can you tell me about that?
I just briefly noticed that she had backed in at approximately one time that I'm really aware of.
On the 17th?
On the 17th.
And you recall that because that's your down day? You're on
That's
the
my
couch?
down day, yep.
Now, explain to me how it comes, you can see the roadway, you said, from the couch.
Right, I could see the roadway, and when the direction she came, in order for her to back in, she had to angle to the opposite side of the roadway, and the whiteness of her car just had caught my eye, and I noticed that she was backing into the garage.
Now, I asked you if the parents were home at that time, and you stated...
I don't believe so.
And why is that?
Because generally the parents parked in the garage, so if she backed in, To me, that would indicate the garage was empty.
And both cars were gone.
Correct.
Okay, but you don't know for certain.
I
whether or
don't.
not they
There
were
could have been just one vehicle in the garage.
But she did back into the garage.
Yes.
Okay, that's the 17th.
Yes.
Now, the 18th to the 19th, you can't really knock down which ones with certainty, but
Right.
you know that one of those 2 days you did yard work at your place.
Right.
Tell me about all that again. I know, I'm sorry for the redundancy.
That's all right. Yeah, I was doing my yard work and I was in front. I had already mowed. I was using a weed blower and blowing off the grass. And Casey had approached me and asked me if she could borrow a shovel. She needed to dig up a bamboo root she'd been tripping over.
What time of day was this?
Approximately 1:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
I proceeded to walk around my house to my shed and gave her a shovel I had. And then I followed her back out front and she walked into her garage. And at that point her car was backed in. I didn't see her back in, but it was already backed in and their garage door was open. She walked into the garage and I proceeded to finish blowing off the grass clippings and then went to the rear of my yard and blew off the grass clippings, at which point then I walked back out the front to see by chance maybe she was coming back with the shovel and I could see the garage was still open and the car was still there. So I proceeded to lock my gate and my shed and then went into my house and told my son that Casey had borrowed a shovel and my children don't generally open the door, so I said I need to take a shower. So if someone knocks at the door and you can see it's Casey, go ahead and open the door and get the shovel from her.
Okay. So you finish your shower.
Finished my shower. It was right around 2 o'clock. And I came out of my bedroom and asked my son if Casey had came back, and he said no. So I just proceeded to watch TV, and then it was approximately around 2:30 when Casey knocked at the door returning the shovel.
And from Appy's interview the first time, they had already asked you about her clothing and if it
Yeah.
appeared that she had changed clothing.
Didn't appear that she changed any clothing. She didn't.
Very calm, you said.
Calm, just normal Caylee.
No sweat
Casey,
on brow.
normal Casey.
Normal Casey.
Yeah.
No sweat on brow.
No sweat. She didn't appear to be muddy, or the shovel wasn't even muddy.
But you do say you recall seeing a ring, dirt mark on the shovel.
Dirt mark, which may have been there
Could have been
before.
there. Okay, so the shovel may have not even been utilized above and beyond where you had
Right.
utilized it in the past.
Right.
Okay. Nothing that stands out like sopping mud
No.
or big. Okay.
Yeah.
It was clean enough to carry from your foyer into the garage without making a mess.
Correct.
Okay.